Amy from the blog blossominglife.com, and today I want to show you how to make my favorite fermented sourdough banana muffin. It is a take on my sourdough banana bread recipe that I turned into muffin form, and probably a better way of eating them. That way they're in individual portions and we don't just eat the entire loaf at one time. I started this recipe actually yesterday. In a stand mixer bowl, I put together 2 cups of flour, a half a cup of sourdough starter. I melted a half a cup of butter and put 3/4 cup of honey, and I mixed it all together and then let it ferment overnight. And so now my batter is nice and stiff, which is why I recommend using a stand mixer because it'll make it way, way easier. And I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients. You will be able to find the entire printable recipe on my website, which I will link in the description box below. So to this bowl, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I make my own, but you can use store-bought vanilla extract. Then I'm gonna add 1 cup of very ripe bananas, and 2 eggs. I always like to crack my eggs in something separate just in case you get a bad egg. Then you're not ruining your whole batter. I'm gonna put it on medium and let it mix until it's really well combined and most of the chunks are gone. Because the batter is so stiff, it will take a little bit for it to combine. You may still see a few little chunks, but it's totally okay. Make sure to scrape down the sides at least once. All right, once it's nicely mixed together, you're gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And then mix it up again. So now that the batter is nicely combined, I am going to put it in a greased muffin tin. You could also line it with cupcake liners, and I'm gonna use the ice cream scoop. This makes it super simple and is like the perfect amount for each muffin. I'm gonna pop these into a preheated oven at 350 degrees and bake them for about 18 to 20-ish minutes until they start to turn golden brown. All right, I just pulled the muffins from the oven and they smell so good. I cannot wait to enjoy these. I'm gonna let them cool down a little bit and then pop them out and eat them. If you want the printable recipe, make sure to check the description box. There will be a link to the blog post that has all the tips and tricks and the printable recipe card on there. And for this, you can also use discard. If you don't want to ferment it overnight, or even if you do, you can just use sourdough discard to make these muffins, and that will work too. You don't even have to ferment them overnight. My family has trouble digesting gluten, and so if we ferment things for 18 to 24 hours, we usually can digest them better and we don't have any tummy issues. And so that's usually what we do, but you could whip these up and bake them right away. You could ferment them as little as 6 hours, whichever you want to do. We like the fermentation not only for our belly, but also is healthier for you, and there's more nutrients in the grains due to the fermentation. Thank you so much for coming by today. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. I share real food recipes, homesteading, and DIY projects. Thanks for stopping by at the farmhouse.